Welcome to episode 2 of Inmarsat's Yacht Digitalisation series. My name is Nick Maloney and I'm Inmarsat's Yachting Ambassador. In episode 1 we spoke to Simon Fisher, skipper of 11th Hour Racing. We spoke about how his team are using telemetry and connectivity to improve performance and design their state-of-the-art race boat on a quest to win the next around the world race, the Ocean Race. In this episode we speak to Rachel Oliver. Rachel is breaking new and exciting ground in the area of remote connectivity within the maritime sector. As a main focus of this episode, Rachel's going to talk us through the principal changes and developments that are happening within the super yacht world.
So I'm Rachel Oliver and I'm the owner-founder of Osprey Technical Consulting, and we are systems integrators for super yachts and luxury performance yachts. So we're working at a system level across a complete spectrum of electronics. We're really taking off-the-shelf systems and focusing on how we integrate those best to deliver for the project and for the requirements of the vessel. This was something we'd already been working on because clearly for us is a massive advantage in terms of what we can offer our clients and their experience if we can access our systems 24/7 without having to go anywhere. And we've been trying to open that up to encourage other technical suppliers to take advantage of the framework that we've put in place. 18 months ago when the world shut down, suddenly people started picking up the phone and saying, oh, this thing that you've been talking about, how would it work? I've got systems all around the world, we can't get any engineers out. What can we do? And actually this wasn't only within the super yacht sector. We've also been dealing with clients who are working in oil and gas and survey vessels, things like that. And what we've seen for some of these guys, it's completely revolutionised their business for the better, because previously where they were trying to arrange 3 or 4 transfers to get someone to a remote location to do potentially a relatively simple calibration procedure or something like that, they've realised that actually I can do this sat in my pyjamas at the kitchen table, and I can be doing this on 3 or 4 boats simultaneously. We can get to the clients immediately, so it's brought down people's overheads, it's driven up the value of what they're offering their clients, and the uptake has been huge. So people that have said, okay, well we'll try this, we'll take 1 or 2 systems, pretty quickly they've realised the power of what this can do for them. When you're designing a system for a client, you start at the beginning, you have the conversation of, okay, how are you going to be using the boat? Where are you going to be using the boat? Who is going to be operating the boat? All of those are factors in how you specify the kit and how you put the whole thing together. But another dimension into that specification now is, how are we going to build this in a way that we will be able to access all of this remotely? Tell us what kit you're putting in. Let's think about if that's the best way to do it to allow you to access your system remotely, and really trying to encourage everyone that's involved in the delivery of the project to link into what we've done. And then effectively we are providing the managed service, the gateway to that vessel, and we can allow all the different technical providers access to their systems, but in a secure way. Supplier A can access their equipment, but they can't access anybody else's equipment on the boat. That's giving them peace of mind that this is secure, it's auditable, and then if there is an issue with any part of that connection, we handle all of that worry for the technical supplier and for the owner. So it just takes away a huge sort of headache, saves everybody a lot of time. And it means that downtime is minimised. We can really operate the equipment remotely, and that's then part of what we're now able to help the other technical suppliers do. Say, look, think about how you're building your system. Think about how you want to interface with your system. We can give you, a direct link for all of your engineering tools and facility to bolt that onto that boat as though you're actually there. It might be a vessel where they may not have a full engineering crew on board. Rather than them wasting their sort of precious leisure time speaking to one of us, pressing buttons, we can just say, okay, I'm going to take control of the system now. And we can navigate our own way through the menu. We can pull off the diagnostic files on behalf of the manufacturers and whatever, and just deal with it for them. modern yachts are becoming so complex that it's unrealistic to have all of the specialist skills that you need on board. So you might have a very competent systems engineer on board, who's obviously, the point of contact, but they need that specialist backup. We're all permanently connected now. When you're on your boat, even though sometimes people are trying to get away when they're on their boat, actually everybody wants to have a decent internet connection all the time, and it's just kind of expected. What the rest of the industry needs to catch up with now is how do we take advantage of that? You can see there's a drive, loads of people developing apps and things, and there's a lot of talk around remote access. There's still a huge scope to say to people, think about how you're designing your system from component level up, how you're going to manage that, take advantage of the connectivity, because any boat you put your kit on, there will be an option to access it remotely. The connectivity framework is there, is in place, and it's really about people now just taking advantage of that. So the other systems that we are now always trying to pull into our framework would be the hydraulic control. The next thing will be the engine monitoring and control. On some of the bigger performance yachts, there's a lot more in terms of load monitoring and structure monitoring of the structures, fibre optics and so on. So there would be sort of design partners that would be interested in being able to monitor and access some of that data, and also some of the yards themselves. As design develop and performance is being pushed, then obviously there are a lot of people that are interested in monitoring a lot of different aspects, particularly the structure of not only of the boat but of individual components of the boat. The number of sensors on board these vessels is going up hugely. So then you've got the question of how do you gather the data, how do you store the data, how do you distribute the data, and it's obviously an increasing volume of data as well. So data use is going up because of the number of sensors. There's more expectation to be able to monitor those things and review those things real time. That's driven a need and demand for high speed 24/7 connectivity. Another use that we've seen quite a lot for the remote connectivity is on some systems they require very regular recalibration. If we can facilitate those technicians doing that remotely, which in a number of cases we can, that's obviously turning what would have been maybe a visit 2 or 3 times a year to a vessel. It's just eliminated the need for that as well. As equipment manufacturers really start to dial into the capability of these systems, and they design their systems in a way that allow them to access them remotely, they don't need to worry about the connectivity and the actual gateway to the vessel. But once they make their system in a way that it's compatible and we can bring it online, then I think we will see a huge reduction in travel to vessels. It'll drive up the after-sales support that people can access, and I do think that within the next 5 to 10 years, the vast majority of maintenance will be done remotely. It all starts with having the connectivity available. Without that, none of what I'm talking about is going to work. So you've got to have the appropriate kit for wherever you're intending on going, and the right level of service to go with that.